Jai Baba friends, this is the first Saturday in 2026, January 3rd. And today we have a program called Pajama Party, which isn't a pajama party really. It was an inspiration of a few of us a few weeks ago. We thought it sounded like a grand idea to sit together the way people do at a pajama party and talk about, well, in this case, we'll be talking about our experiences, not necessarily childhood, but often childhood experiences. And uh, it, Not necessarily around bedtime, but that's a starting point. Is what do you remember from your childhood bedtimes, and it could include songs, lullabies, or dreams if they're not too long. We kind of wanted to keep each person's share a little short so that they didn't uh, dominate. Uh, so we'll just see where this meeting meanders. Um, and the first offering that Michal has found is Anne Conlon's the beginning of Anne Conlon, a wonderful old Baba lover, old time. She's passed on now, but from Myrtle Beach, who did meet Baba, and she had a remarkable, I guess you'd say, visitation from a bedtime Baba came to, well, as you'll hear. So we're going to play just a bit of her tape, and I recommend you going back. In fact, I'll put the link in the chat. Oh, what a fabulous story Anne Conlon's story is. So I will start that. Okay, let's see here now. Oh, why can I not? Oh, here we go.
Well, I'm going to share with you this morning what I have always called my fairy tale. I first heard of Mera Baba in 1956. Right after Baba had been in the United States, I met two women in New York who had met Baba a few days before. One of them, her name was Ginny Sadowski, came to work for the newspaper where I was working. She did her work at home, and it was part of one of my weekly runs around my beat to stop at her house and pick up her work. So, of course, just having met Baba, she was full of it. And she would offer me a cup of coffee and start telling me about Baba. And she had a picture of Baba on the refrigerator door in the kitchen. And it's that picture of Baba. He's wearing a garland, and he's sort of three-quarter face, and the eyes are very vibrant. And I remember when I first saw the picture that I thought he had the kindest eyes I'd ever seen. Well, when she started talking about Baba, she was real careful. She knew I was a Catholic, and this is in the 50s, and she didn't know what kind of a reaction she was going to get. So she didn't tell me who he was. She sort of beat around the bush, and with these long explanations, like if you wanted to learn to be a master musician, you'd go to a master musician, and trying to relate this. So somewhere in there, her younger sister, Liz Sakala, started showing up for these coffee clutches, and Liz did not have Ginny's patience. So one day she just popped out and said, "Well, he's the Christ. Take it or leave it." And I had a sneaking suspicion that's what they were leading up to, but when Liz said the words, I accepted it immediately. I mean, it hit me so deep inside, and I said, that's right, he is. And when I was a kid, I'd always been very resentful that the Catholic Church told me Christ came only once, and I thought that was a real jip. And how come I didn't live then? It just was not fair. So I was primed to accept the fact that he had come again. Well, for a while, along with that acceptance of that fact did not come a real strong desire to see Baba. I was content knowing that he was in the world. So along came 1958, and Baba was coming back to the United States. So Jenny and Liz asked if I wanted to come down to Myrtle Beach with them. Baba said, the people who were coming, only those who loved him and were willing to obey him should come. And this started this whole thing going on in my mind, and I realized I didn't know what love was. I didn't know if I loved anybody, let alone love Baba. And I knew how Baba felt about obedience. And I thought if I couldn't say I loved him, I shouldn't go. And on one level, that was the dumbest thing I ever did in my life. But he made up for it later. So I didn't go. But the last day that Baba was in Myrtle Beach and I was home in New York, in the middle of the night, and I'm not a person who remembers dreams, very seldom, I suddenly woke up about 4 o'clock in the morning, thought I was awake, and saw Baba standing at the foot of my bed, and it scared the daylights out of me. And he was wearing his blue coat, and he had one hand on the bedpost, and you see those pictures standing with one hand on his hip, and looking at me and with his head cocked and smiling, and the impression I had was that he was saying, well, are you coming or aren't you? And I was so terrified of this. I jumped out of bed and I heard my heels hit the floor, and I knew I was awake. I was so startled by the whole thing, I thought I was going to have a heart attack. My heart started pounding and everything. But the minute I realized that he was there and I was awake, then he was gone. And I climbed back into bed and went back to sleep. I was exhausted by those few seconds.
Now, that's as much as we'll share of this. It's a fabulous tape. So I'll put the link in the chat. You can copy it. She was a wonderful journalist, and she well worth listening to. But Robin and Marjolaine, we were just saying that what we're doing here is sharing in the manner that we would share if we were at a pajama party. Hence the title. We got inspired with that notion that it would that we wanted to, and sharing particularly childhood experiences, or bedtime, as Anne's was a vision of Baba, or other lullabies. It's a pretty broad spectrum. We did say we didn't want to include storybooks from our childhood, just because one storybook would take half a meeting to read and share. We might do it another time. I like that idea. So let me see. At this point, we have it mapped out. Michal, are we inviting folks to share? This is really Michal's.
No, I will just tell something, and yeah, I do advise to see this beautiful video fully, because she's so wonderful, and everyone is laughing, and she brings up this good energy. So, so I want to tell another story of Baba, and of apparitions, and this time it's a ghost story. So because ghost stories have to do with night and with our fears when we go to sleep and all that. So what is this story? It's the story from Lord Maher, page 128 to 131. And it's Baba's visit to the Tower of Silence with his good friend Bailey. So you know that Baba's father, Cheriyarji, he was Hi, Eva. He was the Tower of Silence a keeper together with his father from very little age. So he got to know everything about ghosts and spirits and everything in the Tower of Silence. And also these stories are very beautiful to read in Lord Meher. So Shahryar was sharing these things with his son, Merwan, at this time, still Merwan, not Baba. And he was telling him about all these experiences in the Tower of Silence. And Baba said to himself, well, I want to also experience these experiences and see for myself. And his father was all for it because he said it was very good to get to know the spirit world. He said, in the spirit world, there are good beings and bad beings, and you can tell them by the difference if you look at their feet. If their heels are facing forward when you look at them, and their toes are facing back, these are not good spirits to in contact with. But if their feet, their toes are looking forward like ours, and their heels in the back, then these spirits you can communicate with. And Baba's father said it is very good to get to know about these spirits and get into communication with them. They can help you understand things. So Baba wanted to go to the Tower of Silence, and Bailey said that he wants to go with him. So Baba says, okay, if you want to go with me, then what you have to do is you have to promise me that you'll be very silent when we will be there, and that you will give obeisance to the Tower of Silence when we get there. And Bailey said, yes, of course. So at this stage, Merwan is 12 years old. So this is 1906. So they make a meeting and they go at midnight. Of course, the parents don't know. And they go at midnight to the Tower of Silence, and it's out of town. And it's forest all around it, and it's very eerie. But Baba is not scared. Oh, and Veli told him, let's go when there's a moon out. And Baba says, no, let's go when it's dark. So they're going to the Tower of Silence, and when they approach it and they see it from far, Baba bows down fully to the Tower of Silence, and so does Bailey. And then they go further on, and again, Baba, when they reach the Tower of Silence itself, Baba again bows down, and Bailey does too. And there are steps that are going up to the entrance to the Tower of Silence. And through that door into the Tower of Silence itself, only the priests, the Zoroastrian priests, would go. But and the bodies, of course, but others would not go. So Baba is bowing down before the steps, and so is Bailey, and they're going up the steps. And Baba is first, and Bailey is second, and Baba is going up the steps, and Bailey is following him. And as he follows, he see at the door, there's a spirit of this very tall and very thin spirit, completely with a white dress, and he has a big beard, and his hands are forward to stop them from going further. And Bailey starts being quite afraid. So he says to Baba, so he tries to get Baba's attention, because Baba said, let's be silent. So Baba is not giving any attention and going further on, and Bailey just grabs him and says, let's go, let's go, let's go. And Baba says, why go? We have come all this way. Why go now? And Bailey does not let him go. So Baba gives up, and they go. And when they go, Bailey is totally distraught, totally afraid. And he says, and Baba says, what's happened? And he said, well, didn't you see what I saw? You probably didn't see what I saw. And he said, yes, I did see. He says, well, what did you see? He said, I saw this old man with a beard, with a white white cloth, flowing clothes, and his hands like this. So Bailey says, then why did you go on? So he says, well, don't you know? I told you, my father said that if his feet are okay and the toes are front, we don't have to worry. He was just the guard of that door, and it was only a second, and he evaporated totally. And so he was teasing him now that he was so afraid and all that. And Bailey said, please, please don't tell anyone that I became afraid. Please, please don't tell our friends. So this was the story of Baba going to the Tower of Silence with Bailey. And Bailey writes that Baba has done that many times. At 2 o'clock, they came back home. 2 o'clock. Can you imagine your kid or yourself at 12 years old doing that thing and coming back home at this time? So this is the story, and Bailey says that Baba used to gaze a lot at the stars at the night, and he used to lose himself in those gazes, and also that he went to the Tower of Silence many times himself, and that he did contact these spirits, and it was very, very good for him, actually, because if you remember that later on, Baba had to do a lot of work with departed souls, a lot of work. So he really had to know that realm. He really had to get to understand who's the bad guy there, who's the good guy there. And he says that there's a lot of blessings from souls like that, like the one who was guarding the Tower of Silence. So this, we're talking about night and darkness and no moon and no light, and the fright that Bailey had, which was very normal. Anne Conlon is talking about her fright when she sees Baba, and she knows it's Baba. He's appearing at the end of her bed, and she got frightened. And then her heart was pumping, and then she just was so tired after that. So can you imagine when you meet so when I heard that a long time ago, many years ago, I said, Baba, please don't appear to me. Please don't appear to me in the body. Please don't. So he hasn't. So I will tell you one fright that I did get when I was going to sleep. So me and my brother, we lived in a small apartment of two rooms, living room and bedroom and kitchen, of course, and things, So my mother slept in the living room, and we slept together in the little bedroom. And we had two beds. One was tucked under the other, and at night you would pull it out. So it was a low bed and a higher bed, so the other one would slide under. So my brother used to sleep on the lower bed. They would slide it out, so it would fill the room. And I used to sleep on the top bed. And he used to just, when it was not going to sleep time, he would just go to sleep, clunk, and he's asleep. And I'm a nighttime person, so I couldn't sleep. So I used to read. So if my mother would put us to bed and we were supposed to be sleeping, then I had a flashlight and I would read under the blankets. But if she was out of the house, which she needed to be, because she was a single mother, because she was, how do you call it? Widowed. She was widowed very young. So she was a single mother and she had to work. So her work sometimes demanded that she do some social events. So she would go. So if she would go, then I would sit in the room. I would sit on the bed, and my brother would sleep, and it would not disturb me, and I could read, and it would not disturb him. But it was very quiet, and I had to listen when my mother would come back to close the light immediately and go to sleep as if I'm sleeping, So I'm reading this book. It's very quiet, very peaceful, and I'm very into the book. And suddenly my brother sits up and talks. eyes were closed, he was asleep, and bonks, he goes to sleep again. So this is one of the experiences of the night. So now it's your turn. Anyone have anything to share and want to share? So if you have, because you can share or not share. Another thing that we thought of is our teddy bears. I didn't have a teddy bear. I had books and a flashlight.
Oh,
But this is a bunny, and this is a teddy bear. So, look.
oh my gosh, they're
Oh,
twins.
tell us about it, Marjolaine. Tell us
They're
about it.
twins. Oh,
Oh, yeah. He's with me since I was born. He's very old. I need to repair him in some way, or I don't know how he survived.
So, what is his name? What is his name?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't think I gave him a name. I can't remember, but I gave him lipstick when I was about 10 years old or so. There's still a little trace left on his.
can you
I wasn't supposed to do that, but there's just a little bit of lipstick left.
Good. So,
I
can you
wasn't
show
supposed
the
to
two? They
do
look like twins. Michal, can you show
that.
yours?
yeah, well, actually, mine is of the kindergarten,
Ah,
So,
okay, they're very close.
I still have them.
Okay.
And one moment, because I see that Robert has
Yeah.
Mickey and Minnie.
Oh. Ah.
So yeah, Robert, is that your night? Yes, that's your nightgown.
Well, I just put it on for yes. No, I wear this sometimes going out wherever I go. Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's it. And I also have Minnie here, Minnie,
Oh yeah, of course.
and
Oh, who's that? Who's the other one?
I forget what is it?
It's Goofy.
This
Goofy.
Tweety
Oh, no,
Bird,
no. Oh,
Oh,
Tweety. Oh.
beautiful.
Tweety Bird on top. I forget his name. I forget his name.
Oh, that's
Pootie
But
beautiful.
Tat. Is it Pootie Tat? I thought Pootie
I
Tat.
thought I saw
Yeah,
Putty
Kitty
Cat.
cat,
Yeah,
kitty cat.
I did.
I have a kindergarten next door, and it's called Mickey Mouse. The kindergarten, Mickey.
Oh, kindergarten Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that Mickey Mouse is completely connected to Baba. When I first came to Mehrabad, to Merazad, and then because of my name is Michal and they can't say that, so Eroj suggested that maybe I be called Mickey. And I said, no, Mickey is a boy's name. I don't want to be called Mickey. But since then, I know that Mickey Mouse is part of the Baba family. So Mickey and Minnie.
Oh,
So
there's a whole story
yeah, hi.
about Mickey Dog. Well, let's let Diana. She has
Yeah,
something
Diana has
about
brought
Yeah,
yeah.
let
something.
Diana.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is really fun. Excuse me. I have two things to share. One is a dream, and it wasn't a dream about Baba, as we know him, but I think it's very Baba related. It's when actually I was teaching at the Montessori school, and my assistant was there, and she was a Baba lover. This was my first year at this school, so I'm immediately surrounded by Baba people, both the director and my assistant. And we got along fine. She had a lot of tolerance because it must have been really difficult being around me in that first year of teaching where I'm stumbling along, but she was always very nice. And I liked her. And I don't know if it was that year or sometime after, I had a dream about her. And the only thing to say about the dream is her face. And it was, as my interpretation was, that her sanskaras had been taken away by Baba, because there was just her face with this golden glow coming out of it, and nothing, no emotion, no personality, but something like, I won't say divine. It had no trouble in it. It had no emotion. but it was very beautiful, and it was just her and like Baba in her with her face there. And it was just a very remarkable thing. I've never seen anything like that in this experience or in dream experience. And I felt it was Baba-ish because her whole history wasn't there behind her face. It was just her. It was really very beautiful.
Was she a
And-
Baba
and-
lover? Was she a
Oh,
Baba lover?
absolutely. Yeah.
Oh,
What is her name? A name?
You wouldn't know it. She's not around or anything. So I
Mm.
just don't want to say her name.
That's a beautiful, beautiful, amazing dream, and that's a beautiful
It's
apparition for
very
you.
special. And I felt it sort of Baba-ish. I mean, that's how I wouldn't have any other way to interpret it.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
amazing.
Now, the other thing is I'm going to introduce you to my This is Floppo.
Oh,
And I crocheted this bag years ago, so I keep it in the bag.
oh, show his face, show his
Oh,
face.
You show his
yes,
face. I didn't see his face.
This
Yeah,
is the
show us.
bag.
No,
Oh no, his
you-
face is not because your
No,
background. Because
you
of your
have to take
background,
the
we're not seeing it.
background.
Okay,
Take the
you get to see
background
my
off.
mess again. I hate taking off my background, but I'll do it.
Yeah. Well, we saw him at
Yeah.
the beginning with the
Um,
background.
Wait,
Yeah.
which one? Adjust background and effects.
Yeah,
Okay, here we go.
there.
Yeah,
So-
sure.
So,
this is the bag, which
That's
I've used a
beautiful.
lot. You can see it's all coming apart here.
Oh, it's
But it was
beautiful.
really fun. It was when I was, but I'm not here to show that. It's just what he sleeps in. And so this is Floppo.
Oh, look at him. Oh,
And
Baba.
Floppo was my very favorite of all my, I had a lot of stuffed animals, but he was my favorite. And
What's his name? What's his
Floppo.
name?
Floppo,
Floppo.
Floppo, Floppo.
Floppo.
And
Floppo.
you see how used and abused he was. And Floppo, when I went to bed, all my animals would be there with me, but he would always be the closest.
Oh,
Oh.
Here's a funny thing, because his nose is attached to, I think there was a red thing here. And you see if I pull on his nose a little bit, and then his nose comes in. And then he has a rattle in his tail.
Oh.
I don't know if you can hear it. And you
That's
can,
so
and
cool.
there's nothing to keep it there. So you can move the rattle around. And I used to like to move
Oh.
the rattle around.
Looks so cute.
Aw.
I love the
Anyway,
color.
so, and I had some friends. My mother's best friend had twin sons. And I think that they got similar stuffed animals to when I got Floppo. I have some vague memory that happened. So anyway, that's bedtime. And
So
he's
tell one memory that you have, please.
what memory?
You said you have wonderful memories with them, with the Floppo.
Just that, he was my favorite. And sometimes I remember once when my father was giving one of my brothers a driving lesson, I went along and I sat in the back seat with Floppo.
Oh, that's sweet. That's so sweet.
Anyway, he's and you see he's
Oh, he's pretty floppy. Yeah.
that's not supposed to happen. The stuffing has all gotten.
Yeah. Was
But with the way that you hold him with so much love,
Mhm.
then we see
Yeah.
him. He's still alive and he's still enjoying it.
Yeah,
That's-
but he has to go back in his little bag where he gets all protected. So
So what age did you make that bag? You started saying what age?
I was in my I think I was in my late 20s when I
Oh.
started crocheting. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Is he
So
a store-
Marceline
is he-
has.
is he store-bought or did somebody make him?
What?
Was he did he come from the store or
Floppo?
yes. Yeah.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah,
He's see, here's his
Oh.
here's his
Oh, his tag. Okay.
Wonderful.
what does it say?
Made in what country?
It says toy. Yeah. What does that say? Oh, I'm gonna read it. It's a word. Boy, is this coming apart. Banis Ban B-A Banistam Banistam Toys Incorporated. What?
Oh.
B-A-N Banani. I can't, it's falling apart.
Okay. He was
Oh, Bantam.
oh
Bantam. Bantam. Bantam toy.
boy, he's a
Fun.
venerable toy.
So you can see how he's totally just
Yeah.
all
Oh.
Totally loved and old.
sort of
Totally
mangy at
loved
this
and old. He aged well.
mangy. Okay. Enough
Thank
about
you. That was artful. Madeline, you have your hand up.
Yeah,
This-
no, I wanted to say about the dog of Diana. What's his name? What's his name?
Floppo. Floppo.
Oh,
Flapple,
Floppo. Yeah.
flapping.
There are some famous children's stories in Belgium, and they're from Jip and Janneke, and they have a similar dog, and he reminds me so much about it. And they have all kinds of funny, sweet adventures. There are a boy and a girl, a brother and a sister, or I don't know, neighborhood kids, and they have this dog Tucky, and they're like Floppo, and
Floppo.
Floppo, yeah, and he reminds me of it. So because we're talking about childhood memories, and also what you said about the Baba dream, I think it's very precious. If you have like a dream that's so close to Baba, that's very special. I think I read
Yeah.
it somewhere. So yeah. And myself, I don't have many childhood memories. Maybe I saw 20 I when I received an alarm clock from Sinterklaas, the child's friend
Yeah.
who is a saint. I don't know how you call him
Saint
in the United
Nicholas or Santa Claus, same.
Yeah, Santa Claus,
Yeah.
Santa Claus. And I had received an alarm clock and it was digital. And I saw the angel numbers a lot because I was like you, Michal. I was put to bed and I couldn't sleep and I was wide awake. And then I was watching the curtains because there are all kinds of funny shades and shapes in the curtains. And I imagined all the time what kind of puppets or animals I saw. And then the ice cream car would pass by and I wasn't out of my bed. I was in my bed, so I couldn't have I had
Oh,
ice cream, but that was a time when I was already in my bed. And then
at
I saw the
nighttime? At nighttime, the ice cream? Maybe evening time, huh? That seems like not a
yeah.
good time for the ice cream man to come.
No.
Oh.
Maybe I was young or so. I don't
Ah,
know. But
smart husband.
I've had plenty of ice cream in my childhood. Don't worry about it because I had an uncle and he brought ice cream all the times. And also there was this ice cream touring thing. And even today they're ice cream touring even in autumn and almost in winter. So I have had plenty of ice cream, but I saw the number 2222. Pretty much. That's pretty amazing, I think. Well, I was like you, Michal. I was awake. Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
about the angel numbers. I don't know if you all know what angel numbers are. That's when you have the digital numbers matching, like it's 7 in the evening, 1 9, and then you have 19 minutes. So you have 1 9 and 1 9, or when you have 1 9 and 9 1. Like, oh no, you can't have 9 1. You can have 4 1 and 1 4. Like the digital numbers, and they would be mirrored by each other. So these are angel numbers. I haven't been with angel numbers until really late, recently, very recently. That Baba, when I opened the iPad, and it's a digital angel number that either mirrors one each other, or has the same numbers in the hour and in the minutes and seconds. So I will just
Yeah.
go in and then Robert again. I will just tell another story that because you reminded me of all these animals because I went to bed with I didn't have teddy bears when I we had very so low budget. I didn't have dolls or teddy bears and things like that. So if I wanted to play with them, I would go to my friends and they would have. And because there was, we in Israel when I was born 46. So it was very low budgeted. Everyone was really struggling monetarily. And my mother was, as I said, she was widowed and she was a single mother. So all our life was dependent on one salary. And so, but my friends next door, there was not next door, next house, one house removed was a bigger house. People who worked in a higher position, and they had more money, so their children had more toys. So I would go and play with the girls there. But I did have the books, so that was a whole magical environment to go to bed with, with mythologies and the legends, and it was just all magical. It was so beautiful to go to bed with these books. But my sons did have toys. So one of them, and they're only a year apart, a year and 2 months. So the little one was not interested in teddy bears and things, but my older one, who very much. So he had a whole family going to sleep with him, right? So yeah, Diana is saying yes, and I guess that Diana also she told us that she had more, but she loved the floppy more than the rest. So he would put them next to his pillow, all the little ones, and before he went to sleep, he would say good night to each of one of them, and give them a kiss and give them a hug, and put them to bed together. It was so beautiful. So when I put my children to sleep, I would also have an hour that they would go to sleep, and I would say like this. I would sing them. I would tell them stories, nighttime stories, anything they chose, 2 stories, and I would sing them a lullaby, and then I would tell them, you don't have to sleep because I knew that I wasn't going to sleep but this is, you don't have to sleep, but this is nighttime. So I'm closing the lights and you can stay awake as long as you want. But it's mother's time now. Now I'm having grown up time. So when I go from here, I gave you time as children and mother. Now I have to have my own time. So remember that I have my own time, or else it would be, mother, can you bring me water? Mother, can you do this? Mother, all that. So I used to say, now it's mother time, so I'm going to be. So my little one wouldn't go to sleep also until very late, and my elder one would just sleep very close, very soon. So Robert, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, let me spotlight myself. I have a section from The Silent Master by Aaron Locke, and there's this section here. Hold on just 1 second. Just 1 second.
The kitty cat.
I love his house. It's so
No,
colorful.
I thought I smelled gas. I had to just had to check something. I'm sorry about that. No, I'm going to share. The page is not very. It's a black and white, but it's a picture of uh,
Oh, Baba with the
pictures of
animals.
Baba with
With all the
children,
animals. Yeah.
with animals, and some quotes here by Baba about children and animals. I want to read this one quote here. I will say that I have to. I will say that what I have to say in very few words. I love children and never feel more happy than to be amongst them. I would prefer to have time to play with them rather than have all this garlanding, puja, arti, especially since I'm an expert in playing marbles. Ages ago, when I woke up, I began to play marbles with the universe. Here's another couple of quotes here. I am a child whose playground is the universe. All beings and things are my toys in my divine game. Compared to my being and power, all are inanimate toys, but they are toys which I inspire with my life-giving love. All are equally me, and I reside in each always. Here's another one. The whole of life is like playing a game of hide and seek in which you must find your real self. Okay. I enjoy games, chiefly cricket, playing marbles, flying kites, and also listening to music. Um, they come to me because I am also a child. Another quote of his. Just as there are masters and instructors to guide you along the path of your studies, so there are perfect masters who can guide you along the path of the spirit of the glorious destination of godhood. Few have good fortune to meet and follow such a spiritual guide. When you do, you must earn his grace and be worthy of his love. There was no comment about children there, but it's on the page, so I shared it. I am the eternal child, and they in their happy play are my playmates. So yeah, I'll show the picture one more time. Let me see. I love I love this one where he's, I think,
Kissing,
kissing
yeah.
a cow. I think that's a cow.
It's a horse. No,
The cow.
it's a horse. It's
Yeah, it's
Oh, it's a
Shiva. It's
horse. It's a
Shiva.
horse.
it's
Oh,
Sheba.
okay.
But
Okay,
Yeah.
hold
actually,
on.
I think there's also a picture of him kissing a cow.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh.
Let's see. There's Baba with the lamb.
Yeah, yeah.
Maryland,
Right,
what's
Yeah.
the
the
lambing.
passport?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so sweet.
Oh, it's so sweet.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
so sweet.
Yeah. Isn't it wonderful that the Avatar loves animals and children? It's just so.
Betty, will you tell us your story with that nightlight story?
Mhm. Um, when yeah, and a time in my life, just right when I really kind of surrendered to Baba in desperation, because my life was, I was meditating a lot in the morning. I'd ask Baba to tell me, show me, tell me what to do. And in some way, in that sort of frame of mind, I heard, remember when you were 6? Um, and it didn't, ring any bells right away, but uh, then I did remember that there was this one special time. I was nighttime. I was laying out on my front lawn with my cat Smokey on my chest, just laying, looking at the stars, just in a very blissful sort of space late at night. Very unusual. We were always in bed, at night, but for some reason I was just out there quite late in total bliss. Uh, and then my mom opens the door and says, "What are you doing to get into bed? It's bed." And I just remember kind of my heart just sinking, like, oh, it was as if I was out of my body. I don't know that I felt that really, but it was like, oh, I have to do that. I have to go in. And was in such a blissful place that I really didn't want to move or do anything but be right there. And so I thought about that time, and when I was, not that I was aware I was 6 at that moment, but I'm thinking about it. It had to have been spring or summer because I was outside late with not in any. It wasn't cold. It wasn't cold at night, and I would have been 6 at the. Uh, I think it may have been in 52, but around the accident time. I think I that's just my guess that I don't know why else. I can't think of anything else when I was 6. I turned 7 later in November, but I was 6 at that time. So that's what I've always assumed was happening. Some kind of blissful experience with Baba around the accident time. I didn't see Baba. I didn't know about Baba, but it was such bliss. It was
Yeah.
remarkable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it reminds me of a story that I was once in the fields near the house, near the neighborhood that we were. Of course, it was outside of Jerusalem. It was the edge of Jerusalem at that place at that time. Now it's the middle, not the middle, but a lot of neighborhoods have been built around. So we had a lot of fields outside. So it reminds me of one time like this also, that you know, same like a God you know, encounter, but being so young, you don't know about it and you don't understand it, and yeah, and Baba later reminds you, you know, remember that time? Remember that was me, you
Yeah.
know, that was me. Yeah, right. So I want to tell about recurring dreams that I think that all of us have. I think that we all of us have. And so one of the dreams that I used to have was a recurring dream that I used to have several days, several times, not several days one after the other, but several times. And I still don't exactly know what this dream is about. But I don't remember the whole dream, but I remember that I was on the top, on the crest of a huge tsunami wave. Huge tsunami wave, huge wave, but it wasn't like a wild wave, it was like a curving wave, and I was on the top of it, but it was very high. And so I was frightened at the beginning, and then I said, no, it's going to be okay. I'm going to go down with this wave, indulate with this wave. And so it was, and it kept coming several times. So later, much later, when I heard about the story of Atlantis, and then I thought it might have a connection to that. And also one time I was in a group that they were talking about Atlantis and Lemuria, and I had some experience with that. So because we are so ancient, all of us, and we don't even remember our past lives and our very ancient past lives, then we could have come from those cultures. We could have come from those cultures, and I want to remind you of Phyllis Fredericks, who said, and also talked with Baba about it, and also to others, that she remembers her time in Egypt, in the time of the pharaohs, and she remembered that she was studying with them with the priests and Baba confirmed that. He said, I was there with you. So in one of their talks, he actually confirmed that she was. There's also another Baba lover, I don't remember his name right now. He's where Diana is living, and has to do with the archive, or his son has to do with the previous beginning of the archive of the Baba archive there. He also once wrote in Facebook that he felt connected to the Egyptian times from talking with Phyllis, and also. So we don't know, you know, where these things come from. But another dream that I wanted to talk about, that I'm sure that all of us have had, if we remembered even a bit of it, because it is a bit, only a bit of it, it's when I used to, many times, also a recurring thing, that I used to feel that I'm falling from a very high place. I'm sort of like a parachuting, but without a parachute, you know, just dropping from a very, very high place. And I would have the same reaction that I had in the dream of the wave, and I would say, because I would feel that I might crash when I touch ground. And I used to say to myself in the dream, it's okay, you're not going to crash. And then I would feel myself just, you know, floating back down into that. And I think that that is actually that our souls, they go into the subtle area, and that is when they come back into the body, and they feel that. So I know I heard that other people also had that kind of an experience in dreams, and I think it's very, very regular that it happens, especially when we're young, when our minds are still open and we're not blocking ourselves. So, Marjorie, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, because you were talking about Atlantis, and I thought, well, when I came to Baba, I had visions about that as well. Just at the time that Baba came into my life, that was 5 years ago, almost 6 years ago now. I had these feelings and past life memories that came to me about Atlantis. And I also have some memories about the past life in Egypt. But the Atlantis, I really have also. And maybe about childhood memories, referring to sleeping. It's not when I was asleep, but when my grandmother was taking a nap. She was like, I don't know, she also have had a near-death experience, and I think she was also connected to the angels. And I think it's also because of her and other people in my ancestral line that I came to Baba, I think, because she was like, I don't know, very a clear mind or so. And when she was buried, there was a very special atmosphere in the church. And she has twin children, and they're called Gabriel and Raphael. But when she was taking a nap, and I was with her as a little child, we went into the closet where the candies were. And we were never supposed to do that, but well, or it was me only, I think. Yeah, it was me. And I went into the closet and I took a candy, and I still feel really bad about it. And yeah, because when there's in Christianity, you have 40 days of fasting before
Yeah,
Easter.
yeah.
And she would always tell us, if you don't take a candy now, or if you're fasting, then you will have two after Easter. So she was teaching us like some kind of discipline. And I found it so amazing that when she came out of her nap, she knew I had taken a
Oh,
candy.
oh,
I had been so silent, and so I felt so bad, and she knew it. But she wasn't angry or so, but she was like, she had this a really nice way of disciplining, yes, but in a kind way. So once she tried my sister and me to drink. She wanted us to drink coffee, because for her it was from the war, and coffee was like something very special, and she wanted to treat us. But we didn't like it at all, and we just pretended that we drink a little bit. That was my sister and me. And then when she went out to take care of the animals, because we have they are a farming family, she went outside, and when she came back, we had poured the coffee into the sink.
the waste.
and and we felt really bad about it, but we really didn't like the coffee, and we didn't want to disappoint her. But she had seen it. She saw, you pour the coffee in the sink.
Oh,
Oh, wow, wow, wow.
Yeah, she was like unescapable. And I still believe up to this day, because when I had a near-death experience, I saw her and she welcomed me with open arms, and she was so kind and so loving. I still think till this day there are many, many signs in my life that she is present, even from
Spirit.
heaven. Yeah, because she's really in heaven. And I talked to her a few times, and she said, like, every day they have this party, like every day they are eating very well, and they have this amazing time in heaven with my nephew and with my uncle and with my grandfather and all the people there, and they have this amazing time.
Yeah. That's why I'm so curious to go already. Baba, take me, Baba, take me. Here it's such not a party. I mean, our
Yeah,
pajama party is a party, but otherwise, the world is not in a party. And I said, Baba, I want to see what. Please take me. So
yeah,
this reminds me, it's a beautiful story, and both of them remind me, first of all, about pouring the coffee. That's not a night story, that's a morning story. Well, my mother used to go to work at 7:30 in the morning. She had to be at work already. So we would wake up. I mean, she was not at home. She had to go, and she didn't have a car, and the office was far away. So it was a bus, and it was sorry. So for her to get to work, she wasn't in the morning at home. So my brother was older than me, also not much older. He was a year and a half older, but he was like uh, known to be the more trusted, and how do you say that? The one you can depend on. I was the little one.
Responsible, maybe responsible, or I
Responsible,
don't
right, responsible. So he, of course, remember, I told you he went to sleep early, boink, and he woke up early, and I went to sleep late, and I always couldn't wake up in the morning till this very day. So I go to bed very late, and I can't get up, and whenever I have to get up from sleep, it's very hard for me to acclimate myself into the world. So it takes time. It's not easy. But he used to get up, and my mother told him, you have to go out to school with a full stomach, so you will not be hungry. So you make porridge, and you wake Michal, me. He has to wake me, and also make sure that I eat the porridge. And I hate porridge. I hate it. And he loves it till this very day, and my mother loves it too. So he used to cook the porridge in the morning, and then he would wake me up, and I would get up and get arranged and make my sandwiches to school and everything. But then I had to deal with the porridge. And mother said she has to go out of the house, and the stomach has to be full. So I would just wait for him to be out of the kitchen for a few seconds, and I would pour the porridge into the sink also, and rush the water down so he would not see. So that was the story of the porridge, like your story of coffee. But I will tell a story that is similar to your grandmother's story of knowing exactly what you were doing while she was asleep. So that's Baba-like, because Baba used to be totally awake, even when he would snore. And there are many stories that Baba is snoring and sleeping, and people think that he's sleeping and they don't want to disturb him, because there was always someone with Baba in the room whenever Baba used to get away to rest and to be at night, There was always someone with Baba. And because Baba didn't speak, so he needed to have someone next to him. And also I think it had to do with protecting Mera and him from anyone saying that they had something between them that did not happen, because they were so pure in their relationship. So there was always someone very with Mira, never leaving her 24 hours. There was always someone with Baba, never leaving him from 24 hours. So no one could say that they had something that could allege. Though of course Krishna was married. Zoroaster was married, Muhammad was married with a few women, Krishna was married with a lot of women when he was a king. So there's no problem of the avatar having a counterpart that he's married to and having relationships with. But then in the case of Baba, he wasn't. He was celibate and she was celibate, and they were pure. And I think it has to do also with our generation and all the generational things the young ones are going through now, because they're sort of getting away from the regular sexual things that our generations were supposed to behave with. So Baba really had a lot of celibate Mandalian women and Mandali men, though some of them, he told them to get married and were married. So this story is of how Baba, sleeping and snoring, was not sleeping and snoring, was actually always conscious. So Baba is in Bombay, in Arnava's home and Nariman's home, Ashiana. And it's a very nice time. They have a wonderful time, and Baba goes into the room when he goes to rest, and he closes the door. And at 10 o'clock, Arnavaz remembers that Baba told her to take an aspirin, and Arnavaz was very particular about being obedient. So she comes to Eruch and says, Eruch, what shall I do? Baba told me to take an aspirin before I go to sleep. and the aspirin is in the room that Baba is sleeping in, and I don't want to disturb him. So what shall I do? Because I have to obey, and all the pharmacies are closed at this time in Bombay. So Eric says, no problem, I'll just tiptoe in. I'll go to the cabinet, I'll get you the aspirin, and I'll go out and bring it to you, and we'll solve the problem. So she says, okay, she waits. Eric opens the door very quietly. He tiptoes in all the way to the cabinet. He opens the cabinet very quietly. He takes out the aspirin. He closes the cabinet, walks on his tiptoes, and goes out and closes the door very quietly and gives her the aspirin. And she's very happy. Clap.
Oh, Baba.
Clap. Baba and Babaji is the night watchman in the room. So he asks, Babaji, what's happening? What happened? So Babaji says, nothing, Baba, nothing. He's covering up. He's covering up for Eric. Nothing, Baba. Just Eric came in. He opened the cabinet, he took his aspirins, and went out. So he says, call him. So he calls him and he tells him what exactly he was doing. So Baba says to him, don't think that even if I'm asleep and even if I'm snoring, I don't see the whole world. I see the whole world. I'm conscious all the time. So now I'm hearing these stories again and again because there's another story that he's in his room. Mani is reading the books to Baba in Marazad, and she's making all the voices of the different characters, and it's very fun, very wonderful. And all the women in Mandali are sitting there, and Baba is snoring. So after a while, Mani just, let's let him rest, let's stop. And she stops reading, and Baba says, why did you stop reading? And she says, because you were sleeping and we don't want to disturb you. He says, but I'm listening all the time. She says, oh yeah? So what did I read? while he was snoring. Okay, oh yeah? She says, Mani, his sister, oh yeah? So what did I read? So Baba says, ta-tam, 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 ta-tam. Okay, Baba. Now go on reading. So what is the story? I didn't understand the story. Why do these stories recur again and again? And finally I understood, took time to understand. First of all, Baba is saying, I'm conscious. I'm conscious in my deep sleep. None of you are conscious in your deep sleep. You're not still God realized. You'll be God realized. You'll be conscious in your deep sleep also. I am conscious all the time. And the other thing that he's saying, not only am I conscious, and I'm conscious of the whole world, not only in this room, but is what is happening far away from me, that he said a couple of times. He is indicating that he is his godhood, because when God sleeps in his deep state and closes his eye completely on this world and consciousness of this world would go into Mahapralaya. So many people of the Hindu lore that know that if Brahma closes his eyes and goes to sleep, the world would go into Mahapralaya. So if Baba is saying that he's God, he's not really God if he's going to sleep and closes his eyes and he's snoring. And so this way Baba is also giving them this message. Not only am I conscious while I'm sleeping, as if I'm sleeping, you know that I am really Godhood, because once I do go to sleep like Brahma, then we will all go into Mahapralaya. So this is very deep. So this goes to your grandma, who was also very conscious while she was asleep, knowing that you were.
Yeah, I don't know how she did that. Maybe it was a coincidence that she was awake. I don't know.
No, she knew about the coffee too.
Yeah, I think some people who have had near-death experiences have like extrasensorial
Right.
characteristics,
Well, I
and
wouldn't say that she's the stage that Baba is, because the
No, no,
different
no, no, no,
stages
no.
of consciousness, but she was very conscious in order to be not be present and still see both things.
Yeah, it was pretty strange. Like she would make pancakes she had 7 children, and she would make pancakes for all of them and also for the children in the street.
Oh,
And everybody was wondering, how does she do this? And I think it was because maybe she had like a near-death experience, and also maybe because of past life experience and all this. But I think she was very close. Now, I didn't know it when I was alive and when she was alive, but now I think she was so close to Jesus or the angels, or I don't know. How did she do that? She really was. It was crazy what she could do, and everybody in the neighborhood was wondering how did she do that. So yeah, but Betty, you wanted to.
Betty.
Betty, you wanted to say something. You had such a beautiful story about the bliss one and your child. It's
Oh
so
yeah.
beautiful. Yeah, that's
I,
really amazing.
I
Yeah.
wanted to go back to Mickey, because the twins, Sohrab and Rustam, had a dog when they were young named Mickey. I mean,
Oh
for
yeah.
Mickey Mouse, I'm pretty sure it was for Mickey Mouse. And I've they had a well in their Baba house there, um, which well, at one page, well, different story, but a deva came out of the well and showed Shireen what kind of what was to be with her avatar son. But that's a story. But this story is there was a flood in Pune, and oh yeah, at the flood time, many people around their wells went bad. I guess overflow, maybe sewage. I don't know. So, but that well was okay, and people would come and drink from that well. But the Mickey story is that little Mickey dog, she said they had a screen over the well so that leaves and things wouldn't get in. But somehow Mickey jumped and he did fall into the well. So there he was at swimming, paddling around in the well, and of course, Shireen ran out, and the boys were saying, Mickey! I remember them telling this, Mickey, Baba, Mickey, Baba. They were all around. And I think it was Shireen who told Mickey, uh, there was a little, like a can, a small, very small bucket in the well. So he said, Mickey, put your feet in that he did. That's what he did. He put his little feet in the bucket, and they would pull up with him, Mickey, Baba,
Oh,
Mickey, Baba. They got it. They got him up and they got him out.
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah, and the
wow.
story ends. The story is that because of the flood, it was really terrible. So there was no water in Pune. They didn't have water. So the city municipal told everyone that has a well, please serve all your neighbors so your neighbors can come. So a lot of people started coming, but the well water was not water that they could drink with. Okay,
Oh,
so Baba said, no problem. You bring me a glass of water from the well. Okay, you bring me a glass of water from the well. I don't remember if it was boiled or something. Baba drank half the glass and told them, now pour the rest into the well, and people would be able to drink from it.
oh, I had
So it gives me the shivers, because a long time they had a lot of problem because why was the flood? The flood was because when you build a dam, they built a dam and the dam was not built good. So all the water of the dam broke and all the water went. So the city had no water for a long time.
Mm.
So,
One more
what
thing about Mickey. One about Mickey is that they named. I think they named every dog they had after Mickey. They had several Mickeys anyway.
Hmm.
It's
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
interesting because we had a dog when I was young, very young, when my father was still alive, and we had a dog and he was called Mickey.
Oh,
And and
Mm.
I was
wow.
Oh.
about 2 years old. I was 2 years old, and we had a garden, and I used to go out to the garden, and I used to eat a sweet. If I ate a sweet, I would take it out of my mouth and give it to Mickey, and then open his mouth and take the sweet out and continue having it,
Mm.
and then putting it back into his mouth. He was very sharing with me,
So
you
kind.
know. So yeah, one day he went out to the street, and I think he was badly hit, and he was put to sleep. And so I don't remember the dog, but these are the stories. And he was called Mickey. And then when we grew up, we went to our grandma, and grandma was, yeah. We used to go to the hills, my brother and me, and play that we were, at that time, it was the British time that the end of the Raj, of the mandate.
Oh.
We used to play that we used to go with our dog Mickey into the armies and spy.
Oh, the
Or the dog would go and he would come back and he would talk. He would be able to talk with us and tell us all the secrets.
British.
So, anyone have any other stories, or maybe we can go to the other? Oh,
Mickey,
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Mickey just wants to say Mickey is a very
Yeah,
good
Mickey,
name,
that's right.
and
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
more
Very,
people
Oh,
should
very,
be more people should be named Mickey in this
Pe-
world.
yeah.
So,
yeah.
absolutely,
People
absolutely,
love you,
that's what I
Mickey.
say.
And
People
have the
Yeah.
love you.
kind
More
of
Mickeys is
relationship.
better the world will be.
Yeah, and the kind of relationship that they both have between
Yeah.
them, Mickey and Minnie. So, so what? Betty, why don't you put on the
What,
Krishna?
Marjorie
Yeah.
had.
Oh, yeah, Marjolaine, yeah.
Maybe just something short. Like my a nun who is a
Mm,
Catholic nun.
mhm.
So she was the sister of my grandmother, and she gave me a book. She gave me many books, and she was always there for me in my childhood, and it's really amazing. She called me at moments that there wasn't anyone there, or she was always like this background support. She was very sweet, and she gave me a book, and it's written in there about saintly beings. I don't know if it's true, but Walt Disney, who wrote about Mickey, that he was also kind of spiritual person or
Inspired.
something like that.
Yeah,
I don't
inspired.
know if that book is truth or not, but I thought maybe share it. And maybe about the animals. Maybe when I was a child, my parents and my family were always amazed. I wasn't afraid. Like I was standing in front as a very tiny big child. I was standing in front of a huge horse, or maybe an ostrich, or and ostriches can be crazy,
Oh,
and a cow, and most of my family members, they were afraid. Like the children, they were all afraid, and I wasn't. So I don't know.
no.
Yeah, you're Baba Horse Girl.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
I thought to
yeah,
share it.
yeah. So, and you and all these stories about your family members, then you come from a family. We all actually, I know, because if you look into your family line, you will see that each one of us, you will see that we had people who were very close to God and very saintly
It
or very
happened
good.
on a night
Oh,
when
sorry.
the moon was
Sorry,
hidden
sorry, sorry.
behind a
Wait, one moment. So I
Yeah.
just want to say something about your grandma preparing all these, how do you call them? The pancakes for everyone.
Ah, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, she
So,
turned around 8 at once. I don't know
so
how she did.
I have these friends. I have these friends from Jerusalem, and he was the handyman in my kindergarten, and he's a Palestinian, and he came from a very, very saintly mother and saintly wife, and he has a saintly daughter, which is called Amani, and now she's a mother. And the children used to come to my kindergarten. So he used to tell stories. He used to be, he's Muslim, but he used to like be the peace man, between the Christians and the Jews and the Muslims and the Israelis and the Palestinians. And so
Wow.
yeah,
Wow.
very, very special man. But his grandma, his mother, was even more special. She was highly, highly saintly. And the story goes that she too, at that time, they didn't have baking at home. So all the pita, the pitas, that she would make for the family, and she was the one who would make, and they all had many children also, like she had many children. She would go to the village's baking baking place to put the dough of the pitot in the baking. So what I see in my mind's eye, I don't know if it's like that, but you see a pizza bakery, with the stone oven, So there would be a stone oven like that, and they would put the baking pitot inside by the old village, and then they would go with them on their heads with a big, how do you call it, tray, with a big tray. So
Yeah.
she would bake all these pitas, and she would go, and the children of the village would go and pull at her dress, and she would give all the pitas away, one by one, one by one. She would go all the way home and give all the pitas. So like your grandma. So
Yeah.
that's why I feel that your grandma might have been so saintly, because she was very saintly, that lady, very saintly. She passed away. She trained Hussein. Hussein was the one who was working the handyman, and Hussein's wife. She trained her, and she's a saintly woman. And they used to just feed the whole village. She used to make food, and everyone would just love her food, and they would come to their home, and they had no money, hardly any money, from the one earning person who was Hussein, and they would just feed the whole village, again and again and again. She was a great cook. And her daughter now, in all the trouble that we're having here for Palestinians, she got married. She's a beautiful lady. She's married. She has 2 children, and she's also very saintly, very, very saintly. So in my arti, I always pray for them, and I always pray that her saintlyhood, because you don't need to pray for a saintly person; they are already saintly. That her saintlyhood would just go out into the area to give light to the people and open their hearts there, because they're going through difficulty. So that was reminded by your grandma giving all the pancakes out. So
Yeah. The quote that was given to me from New Year's Eve was stay with Baba in the regular day-to-day activities. Yeah. That just pops into my mind when you're talking about all of this, Michal.
yeah,
Yeah.
the daily,
But
yeah.
I'm not like my grandmother at all. I'm not so very good at this. But I do cook. If I cook, I always cook for so many people. I don't know. It's always difficult for me to cook just for one person or a few persons. I don't know why. Maybe past lives or something. And also Baba told me you have to buy I hope or maybe it's just my hopes, but you have to buy a big freezer and you have to make a lot of spaghetti sauce. That's a recipe I got from my aunt. And maybe people will come here and maybe you will have to explain them a little bit about Baba, and you have to give them spaghetti sauce. And he gave me all these things, like you have to change this in your house, and you have to change this in, make a little light when people enter the house and things like that. So I don't know if I'm hallucinating or not, but I will try to do it
No,
because it's not easy
trust,
for
trust. You
me.
can't miss. You can't miss if someone will come and just enjoy your company and have some sauce. Nothing is bad about that. Just trust.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, to have a whole refrigerator full of spaghetti sauce.
Yeah, I can see that.
Well, maybe not the whole, but yeah, a few.
Diana,
But
Diana, you have any share, because you're smiling? No, but you're smiling. Your smiles are so
Well,
nice.
I just like to think of all that spaghetti sauce. I mean, it's great to have it ready.
yeah, yeah, and oh, my aunt, she made a sweet recipe. It's so good. And the sister of my grandmother, she always made so much food, and she puts lots of food in the freezer. And my uncle Raphael, he had also lots of food in the freezer, lots of food. So I don't know. Yeah. Well, he was selling all these frozen foods. So yeah, and he was very sweet. Yeah.
Thank you. So, Betty, you want to put on we have a sort of Krishna Radha story that is very similar to Baba's lore. We can't hear you, Betty.
It's about 10 minutes, just so you know.
It happened on a night when the moon was hidden behind a veil of clouds. The forest of Vrindavan was silent, save for the soft, rhythmic lapping of the Yamuna river against the shore. Krishna sat upon a large, cool rock, his flute resting silently in his lap. Beside him sat Radha. Usually their time together was filled with music, or the comfortable silence of two souls who are one. But tonight, Radha's mind was a storm. She looked at Krishna. She saw the universe in his eyes. She saw the stillness that holds the stars in place. And a question, sharp and painful, tore through her heart. She could not hold it back any longer. Govinda, she whispered. Krishna turned to her, his movement slow, like a drifting cloud. He did not speak. He only waited. They call you the Supreme, Radha said, her voice trembling slightly. The sages say you are Atmarama, the one who is completely satisfied within himself. They say you are infinite, lacking nothing, wanting nothing. You are the fullness that fills the empty spaces of existence. She looked down at her own hands, human and small. If this is true, if you are the ocean of bliss that needs no river to fill it, then tell me truly, why are you here? Why do you call my name in the middle of the night? Why do you weep when I am gone? If you are God, why do you need my love? The wind rustled through the Kadamba trees. It was the question every soul eventually asks. If the divine is perfect, why did it create us? Why this drama of separation? Krishna smiled. It was a smile that did not mock her question, but welcomed it. He reached out and picked up a handful of sand, letting the grains slip slowly through his fingers. Radha, he said, you see the fullness, but you do not understand the burden of the fullness. Listen, imagine a solitary candle burning in a universe where there is no darkness. It is bright. It is hot. It is perfect fire. But because there is no darkness to contrast it, the candle does not know its own light. It simply is. Or imagine a majestic king who is the most beautiful being in existence. He sits in a palace made of invisible glass. He is perfect. But there are no mirrors in this kingdom. He has eyes, but he can never see his own face. He has a voice, but there is no valley to create an echo. He is the master of everything, yet he is a stranger to himself. Krishna leaned closer to Radha. To be one is to be peace, but to be one is also to be alone. In the realm of the Absolute, there is no other. There is only I. And where there is only I, there can be no relationship. There can be no exchange. There can be no joy of discovery. So, Krishna continued, his voice dropping to a whisper, the king did something madness would call foolish, but wisdom calls love. He took his own consciousness, his own being, and he split it. He became two. He created a mirror. Radha, you look at me and you see a separate being. You think you are the small woman sitting on the riverbank, and I am the vast sky. But you are wrong. You are not small. You are the mirror. I am the infinite that wanted to taste its own sweetness. But sugar cannot taste itself. The tongue must be separate from the sugar to taste it. I am the love that wanted to be loved. But a lover cannot embrace himself. I need your love, Radha, not because I am empty, but because my fullness is too vast to be contained in just one form. I poured my longing into a form called Radha, so that Krishna could finally see what he is. When I look into your eyes, I do not see you. I see the reflection of my own soul. And when you love me, I am finally able to love myself. Radha sat still. The logic of the world, of need and supply, of weak and strong, was dissolving. But Krishna, she asked, her voice softer now, less brittle. Does that mean this is all a play? That my pain when I miss you is just a game for your amusement? Krishna's expression turned solemn. He looked out at the dark water. Think of a musician, he said gently, a master flutist. He breathes his very life into the bamboo. The air must be split. The bamboo must be hollowed out. There is tension. There is vibration. If the air does not move, there is no music. The pain of separation you feel, that longing that burns in your chest, that is the vibration. That is the music we are making. If I were only the distant God, watching from the clouds, there would be silence. But I chose to become the lover. And to be a lover, I must be vulnerable. I must be capable of missing you. I must be capable of waiting. Do not think that because I am divine, I am untouched. The mirror affects the reflection. If you are sad, I am sad. If you turn away, I am lost. This is the great secret, Radha. God is not a static object sitting on a throne. God is a happening. God is the flow between the lover and the beloved. I do not need you to exist. I exist without you as the silence before the dawn. But to live, to dance, to experience the ecstasy of being, for that, I need you. I am the gold, and you are the shape of the jewelry. Without you, I am just a lump of metal in the dark. With you, I become art. Radha looked out at the river. The moon had finally broken through the clouds, casting a long, shimmering bridge of light across the black water. The light and the water, distinct, yet inseparable. The water needed the light to shine. The light needed the water to be seen. She realized that her longing was not a flaw. Her feeling of incompleteness was not a defect. It was the very mechanism by which the divine experiences itself. Now, step back from the story of Radha and Krishna. Look at your own life. You too have walked with this question. You have felt the ache of loneliness. You have felt that you are small, seeking something out there to complete you. You have chased relationships, achievements, and validation, thinking, if I get this, I will be whole. And when you feel empty, you blame yourself. You think you have failed. But what if you shifted your vision? What if your longing is not a sign of your poverty, but a sign of your divinity? What if the very thing you are seeking is also seeking you? The ancient masters teach us, Tattvamasi, you are that. You are not the beggar at the gate. You are the king who built a mirror. You are the consciousness that split itself into me and the world just to have this conversation. The friction you feel in life, the struggles, the desires, they are not mistakes. They are the friction of the bow against the violin strings. They are necessary for the music. So, stop fighting your own heart. Stop judging your need for love. When you feel a longing for connection, do not view it as a weakness. View it as the divine calling out to itself. Rest in this understanding. You do not need to become God. You do not need to climb a mountain to find the truth. You simply need to realize that the one who is looking and the one who is being looked for are the same. The seeker is the found. The lover is the beloved. As the river flows into the sea, let your questions flow into the silence. You are needed. You are held. You are the breath of the infinite.
Thank you, Betty. So this brings us to about the end, close to the end, and I want to finish. We have seen Krishna and Radha, and we know that Baba said to Mera, I, as Baba, love you as Mera more than Krishna loved Radha. So I want to end with how Mera used to go to sleep. So Mera was a late sleeper also, and she also had difficulty waking up from sleep. So the women had to wake her up. Of course, she would jump from bed, of course, because she would get ready for Baba every time, even when he was not in the body. But she had difficulty of getting up. So all those who have difficulty getting up, like me, and all those who
I feel better now.
go to sleep late.
Same here.
We're in
Same
good
here.
company. So he also told her, before he left the body, he said, at noon, at lunchtime, you sleep 1 hour. This is an order for me. This is an order for me. Why? Because he knew he would not be in the body, and she would become older, and she would need the rest from when all the children, all his children, Baba's children would come, and would so she would need that rest. So she rested at that time. Another thing that he told her, you always go to bed. I think it was from the left side. I think it was from the left side. I'm not sure. But he told her from which side to get into bed every night. So she had all these orders about sleeping. So when you know that when we come to Mehrabad, we are told to go to sleep. There's also a sleeping hour. We're told to go to sleep, close lights at 10 o'clock. We're not told to sleep, but close lights at 10 o'clock and not disturb. So because people used to get up early, and to go to the Samadhi at 7 o'clock arati, but also because some people want to go to sleep early. They're early sleepers and they're late sleepers, and should be respected. So there's in the NPR, there's a room at the edge of all the rooms, which is a book room where if you don't want to sleep and you do want to have the lights on, you can go into that. There's sofa there, there's books there, and you can just go there and read and have the lights on and go to sleep when you sleep. So Mera, after all the ladies used to go to sleep in the house, she used to go to Baba's room and spend a lot of time in Baba's room without anyone, so no one would, after he dropped the body, of course. So no one would know what she's doing there, yeah? But, we know that she used to probably talk to Baba and think of Baba and, just be in Baba and remember her memories with him. But Vesta Clinton wrote this very beautiful story. One day, she was one of the Baba lovers that came very early into their life. 70s, right? Betty, 70s? Was it 70s that she came?
Yeah, early 70s, yeah.
So it was very before, all the others who became residents later on, helpers of the Mandali. She came she was a wild person. She was totally wild. And I think that Baba brought her because he wanted to bring out in Mera that they all were on tiptoes to care for her so she won't be too wild with them, but she was also a lot of fun and so different than them, and she had a lot of energy, and she brought that into that relationship. So she told that one day Goher was very sick, and she was told to take to have an eye on Goher if she needs something at night. So you know that there was Baba's room at the bottom, at the first floor. When he moved from the top floor to the after the accidents, he moved to the bottom room, and it had a separate entrance from outside for the Mandali men to come in, and had an entrance from the ladies' room to go into the room separately, so you don't have to go out of the house. So there were two entrances, one from the outside for the Mandali, so they not involved with the women that are sleeping or walking inside, and the other one for the women Mandali that could go from the room inside into Baba's room. So Goher's bed was placed right next to that door, because when Baba was sick, then she needed to hear, and she was one of the ladies, Lady Mandali, that could be she could be with Baba while the men Mandali were. There were two women Mandali that could be together with Baba when the Mandali men were there. One of them was Mani, who served as someone who would pass messages to the men back and forth, and the other one was Goher, who would take care also of the men Mandali if they got sick. So her bed was right next to his room. So Vesta was told to sleep in the living room, which it's a big, huge entrance into the women's room. On the right side is the living room, and on the left side is where Goher's bed was outside there. So Vesta was told to sleep on the floor. So she brought her bedding, slept on the floor, put her things on the floor, and suddenly it's night, everyone is sleeping, and she sees Mera going from picture to picture, because there's a lot of pictures of Baba around, so going from picture to picture and talking to Baba and saying, Baba dear, and totally in a conversation. Everyone's sleeping and she's not aware that Vesta is not sleeping. Darling dear, your nails have grown and I have to clip them, so tomorrow I will clip them, though Baba was not in the body, of course. Yeah. And so she would go from picture to picture and kiss and hug and caress and talk and say what she had to say. And if you read that story, it's very, very beautiful and very, very touching. So that story really talked deeply, deeply to my heart. But here is Mera's own tale from her book, Mehera Meher, written by David Fenster, who is the husband of Sheila, who is the daughter of Bauji. So this is a very short passage of how she probably got into that total familiarity with Baba being there while he was not in the body. And it's page 527. So all of a sudden, so I don't hear. Mera had been crying so much during the months. Sorry, because I can't read it, so I have to move it from side to side. After Baba dropped his body. So this is very early. In this book, what they told, that the moment, it was about around July, right after the last darshan in 69. In July, that is when Baba appeared to Mera on the tree. And when Baba appeared to Mera on the tree, her whole inner feelings changed, because she understood and she saw with that Baba was really with her, and he's giving her a sign that he's totally with her. And she used to hours and hours sit on her bed, stare out of the window and look at that image on the tree. And she used to talk to it, and she brought all the women to see it. So this is a continuation of this. Mare had been crying so much during the months after Baba dropped his body. I felt that she wouldn't survive. Then suddenly I noticed that her happiness had returned. She was energetic once more. When I helped her clean Baba's bedroom, she spoke to Baba as if he were actually lying on the bed or sitting in the chair. I asked her if she saw Baba, and she said that she did. But she made me promise not to tell anyone then at that time. I don't think Mera spoke of this to anyone else, and it must have stopped gradually after some time as Mera grew stronger. Though I never saw Baba myself, once in a while a strong fragrance of roses wafted through Baba's room. So why am I telling this? Because we're talking about Radha and Baba and how he kept his presence known to her even when he wasn't in the body. And of course, all of us who are here, Baba has made his presence known to each one of us who has never seen him, never lived with him, might have not seen him like Mira saw him, in the spiritual, or like Ankonon saw him in the spiritual realm. Most of us, just he called us and we came in the spirit world where he is now without a body and not suffering anymore, sacrificing his body, though still working with us a lot. So this is Mera, and this is his Radha, without which he couldn't live, and she was like his very breath, and that's how I really saw her when I first saw her, that she was like what Krishna in this storytelling was telling Radha, that you and me are totally the same, only we split in order to be able to love each other.
Wow, that's so beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing, Michal. Thank you so much. That's so beautiful. And thank you, Betty, for sharing the movie. It's the video. It's amazing. Yeah, it's so
Yeah,
amazing.
Mikal found it. I had not seen it. It is lovely, isn't it? Yeah.
Baba
Yeah.
found it. Baba found it, Mother
Ah,
Child.
do you mind sharing it, or because I would like to
Oh, the
share it
link.
maybe with
Yeah,
friends?
all the
Sure, sure.
shares, Uncommon, and maybe you can put that in the Uncommon link and this link too. It's beautiful.
Oh, you're going to share
Yeah,
it,
if you
Thea?
don't mind. Yeah, if you don't mind. Oh, it's so beautiful. My cat Charlie, he was listening and he was like amazed, and he was like, "Wow!" He was so happy when the story has been told.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, he was like, and I was also like, "It's so beautiful." Yeah,
It is, and the
but
storyteller has such a beautiful voice when he's telling that story.
yeah, but my cat, he did ask, "Why is Baba sitting on a tiger skin?"
Baba is sitting on the tiger skin. I will tell your cat. I will tell your cat that
Thank you.
that dear cat.
Mhm.
The sign of Baba sitting on a tiger skin means that what I understand means that he has overcome his lower ego. So,
Oh,
dear cat, when you will overcome your real ego, your unreal ego, your small ego, then you will be sitting on your tiger skin, and
Oh,
but you are already on the way, because if you looked at that story of Krishna and Radha,
yeah,
then you
yeah, he's
are on
good.
your way.
Yeah. And he always loves the Zoom meetings. He's always so happy, and he's always so looking like he enjoys it. Or when reading Baba stories or Baba pieces from Baba books, he's like listening, and he's like, it's amazing. Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
was just before you all came and we had time, I was telling Betty of the cat. This is a stray cat that I'm feeding outside, and he's the cat of the house. He stands there at the lobby with the glass pane, and he has some friends in our building that take care of him and give him food and water. So I was the one who started giving him water, I started giving him food, but he just keeps apart, you know. So the last few days, I said, "What's that about this cat? It's very strange." And then I realized that what he needs is some energy, you know. He just needs connection. He doesn't want to eat. Why do I know that? So I was eating fish. And when I have fish or tuna or something, I put it some aside for him, and then I take it out to him. And I brought fish at that time, and he really loves it. He didn't want to eat it at all. So I said, "What's with you? Why don't you eat?" And he just sat there, but in apart. So I said, "Oh, okay. You want some relationship? You want an interaction? You want energy? You want this?" So we sat with each other. Actually, I felt him, you know, I felt him also returning back. So, yeah, I can
Yeah,
understand your cat.
Baba, he really takes the shape of a cat to help my cat, because I also do some kind of like de-stressing, like some kind of small therapy on my cat, like when he has left his mother and his sisters and siblings and brothers, and he's a bit traumatized, or if I would go to India, he would be alone and all these things. But I also ask Baba, can you take care of my cat? And then my cat says, yeah, Baba was here, but in the shape of a cat.
Yeah, yeah. You know, Betty's cat, she used to all the Zooms, she used to sit on her heart with her head on her shoulder, and she used to
Oh,
kiss Betty all the time. She used to just lick her all the time, but
oh,
constantly she was there with Betty. I remember that. That was so
oh,
special.
oh, that's so sweet.
Oh, and I
Oh,
and I read something very
oh,
interesting. My
that's
my my sister-in-law, she's a great lover of cats, and I read something today that she sent me. And one of the things that she sent what are the benefits of having cats? And she said a heart and this and blood pressure and all that, you know. And then yeah, okay, I heard that, I understand that, not new. But then there was something new. When the cat purrs, it purrs in decibels, in a decibels between, I think they said 20,
the frequency, hertz.
20 to 400 hertz.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Hertz. And that
Oh,
that hertz tone is healing the bones and the
Right.
muscles and the
oh,
tendons.
Oh my goodness.
oh,
Oh,
Yeah. So when you pat a cat and it starts
sure.
purring,
Mm-hmm.
it heals, and it not only heals, brings your blood pressure down and heart better and all these things, and the fun and the joy and the companionship and all these things that are listed too. But the hertz beat is healing the bones and the tendons and
That's a great
oh,
little bit of
amazing.
wow. That's
information.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I
yeah,
guess I'll
that's
stop the
amazing.
recording at this point. And
No,
we'll,
no, so let's,
no,
Baba, the
thank you.
beloved God. So
Beloved
I
God.
will say it in Hebrew, you all say it in English. Let's
Okay.
say it together, whoever wants.
Thank you.
I love you. So, love,
Beloved God,
Beloved
love,
God,
help us
help us
all
Lord,
all
to love
to
you
love
more and
you
more
more
love
and
God
more
and
יותר.
more.
עד
and more
שנהיה
and more
להתאחד
and
איתכם.
more
בזאת
We're
לנו
in
to
union with you.
worship
לאחוז היטב
with you.
בלימוד
And
שלך.
help us
עד
Help
לרגע
us to
bow
האחרון,
hold strong
מעבר
to
לרגע
beloved
האחרון.
Baba
Baba's Dhamma
Pajama
תודה רבה.
till the
until the
very
very end.
end. Avatar Mer Baba
Baba
Kiche.
Kite,
And dear Mara,
Avatar,
oh,
Meher Baba
Baba,
Baba
dear
Kiche.
Baba,
Avatar,
Me,
Meher Baba
me Baba
Keith,
Kiche.
hey, and dear Mara.
Oh,
and dear Mara. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you all. It
oh.
was wonderful.
Thank
Thank you,
you so
Baba.
much for
Thank you, Mara.
organizing.
Mhm.